Welcome back to Houston Life. Our next guest is on a mission to shatter stereotypes in the rock and alternative music scene. Through his unique grunge and powerful songs, he is breaking down stigmas and encouraging open conversations about mental health.
Joining us now with more on his music career and journey of self-discovery, local artist JonoJono. Welcome to Houston Life. My goodness, that's some high energy moves right there. Congrats on your career. We can't wait to hear about the music, but let's back up a bit because you're the son of an MLB player. Your dad played for the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox.
Yes, he was playing pro, and then from there he actually was, doing a lot of scouting as well too. And so, what brought me out here was when he, started to scout people, throughout the Florida area and also through the Houston area as well too. So. I think that's really, really cool.
Okay.
How cool to have a dad in MLB.
It is really cool. And you know what? I feel like a lot of kids, if their parents, were athletes and they fall something to this. So you really choosing to lean into the musical side, I mean, that in itself was, did your dad consider that an act of rebellion or has he always supported you? No, serious question.
Honestly, it really was. I really was a black sheep out of the three. I'm actually youngest of three. My brother.
Look at you. Those are your siblings.
Yeah. And, all three of us, we all play baseball and softball as well too, I really just was into the arts, and so that's really what brought me into music and wanting to play piano, and I was classically trained in the beginning as well too. So getting into rock and all that stuff was kind of like a bit of a rebellion situation, based off of the climate, that I was in, especially in school. I was always that person that I was always misunderstood, and so I needed to find some kind of serenity in punk music and hard rock and metal music as well too, from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that.
When you say that you feel like you were always misunderstood, I know a lot of people feel the same way.
Nice.
Do you think that is unique to being an artist? Because I know an artist, they deal with a very specific set of challenges, right? It's right. Create new music and be relevant and be great and perform, and exactly. That's got to be stressful.
Very, very stressful. The thing is that it's like I've spent a lot of time feeling like I had to prove myself, and then there was a moment in time where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and just be me. I'm just gonna be me, and just be unapologetic about it. And over the course of the years, I was experiencing a lot of situations where I was bullied. And there were situations where, I even had a lot of, I guess, abuse in the school system, I guess, and whatnot, being suppressed overall, just being a black man itself, you know what I mean? And the thing is that, I just wanted to find some place where I could be able to belong. And I feel like I found that, in the metal community and the story of metal and the thrash metal as well too. So, it's all about being real to yourself and just, saying, whatever, I'm just gonna just do me, not be a poser about it, you know what I mean? And, that's really kind of what started the shenanigans itself,
Yeah, and I'm watching you. It is rock leaning, it is metal leaning, and you say, you're someone who kind of want to bend the genres. You get a lot of messages out through your songwriting. Why is it so important to put these messages of, mental health struggles and things like that within your music?
The thing is that, overall, I actually am a suicide survivor, you know what I mean? Wow. And so the thing is that, I experienced a lot of things where, I was very much so depressed at a time, but thank God, God is a good God. He's always been able to keep me, and I've had a great support system in the past, especially when it came to writing these songs and making these music. And the thing is that, overall, when it comes to mental health, the music community really does experience a lot of that. You see a lot of people who are very depressed, or they're having, a lot of anxiety, and, trauma is being the inspiration behind their music. And the thing is that my goal overall, especially with this album, I'm Cool, I Guess, is to create that community and create a support system for them so that we can be able to start that conversation and continue the conversation, because there's not enough of that, especially in this generation, you know what I mean? Being millennials, you already know what I mean, so.
I think it's great you're using your
absolutely.
platform and your talents to raise awareness. Here's the cover of your album. It drops May 22nd, and I know you described your work as a labor of love. This is something that every song has a message, right? Yeah. And every song has meaning, and you hope that not only will it connect with people, you want to start a conversation.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that, each and every song, they have their own introspective, point of view, I would say, per se. But, overall, like, for instance, there's this one song that basically is talking about going on autopilot and it was like, it's called Running, actually. I think it's track 5. And it says, I think it's kind of funny how every time I smile, I get this bad feeling that we are running. And it's just like, we're constantly going and going without healing. You know what I mean? We're always going and going without healing.
To the next thing, to the next thing.
Exactly.
Really overstimulated. We talk about that. We talk about the messages on our phone and stuff. And we know you want to start a nonprofit named after the album.
Absolutely.
I'm Cool, I Guess.
Absolutely, and it's in the beginning stages right now. So for anyone who's interested to get more information, make sure that you hop onto my Instagram, JonoJono_official, and I'm actually starting a overall group right now to where you can be able to get more information on that aspect. You know, subscribe. And then from there, once we have the prelims of everything, you know, they'll get, you know, more of like a launch on that aspect too.
That is fantastic.
Really fantastic.
It's only the beginning. Okay, well, sit tight, because when we come back, JonoJono and his band will treat us to a live performance.
Okay, looking forward to that. Don't go anywhere. Houston Life will BRB.
Welcome back to Houston Life. Before the break, we got to know local musician JonoJono.
And performing for the first time on live TV. Give it up for JonoJono with his bandmates, Austin Daniels on bass and Elijah O'Neill on drums. Here's the original song, Consciousness.
Sometimes I feel like we aren't alone, as if I don't mind my own mind. In times I feel so blind, and will catch myself all sublime, all sublime, all sublime, yeah. I lost my consciousness. Sometimes I feel like we are alone, Lord, as if I don't mind my own mind. In times I feel so blind, and will catch myself all sublime, all sublime, all sublime, yeah. I lost my consciousness. Thank you.
Wow. JonoJono, fantastic. Austin on bass, Elijah on drums. That was really great. You guys have a really cool sound.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Tess. Appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, anytime we get to headbang a little bit on Houston Life, I know it's going to be a good day. So JonoJono's new album drops May 22nd. I think it's cool that you're doing a pre-order for vinyl records.
Yes.
Any information you guys need on that, you just go to our website, HoustonLife.tv, and we need some water. Houston Life will be right back.